New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers recap and the finale. The end of the Saints season was kind of a good example of how the Saints have been recently, where they dominated the first half. Spencer Rattler looked good. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked good. Players were doing things. And then all of a sudden, completely changed. All of a sudden, completely shifted to where Rattler started to become erratic, and they completely abandoned using CEH. So we'll go through it. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about kind of what we saw and moving forward, what's going to happen here. So Rattler was fantastic in the first half. Like, not just fantastic, but at the end of the first half, I was sitting here and I was thinking, let me be dead ass with you, Mean Gene. Like, I thought Spencer Rattler is good enough right now to be the future. I thought, okay, I've seen enough. Let's let Spencer Rattler just be the starter moving forward. Like, what else do you need to see? And then a second half, he kind of showed some of that rookie volatility, but he made a hell of a case for himself. I mean, if you're looking at Rattler, 26 for 42, 240, a touchdown, no picks. At the end of the first half, someone double checked me. I'm pretty sure he was like 21 for 24 or something like that. Like, he was on fire for like 180 yards. So he did a lot, and he is the main guy. Like MVS, Cedric Wilson, Dante Pettis, Kevin Austin Jr., Jordan Mims, like some of these guys, they're not really auditioning for a real role with the Saints moving forward. Rattler is. Like, Rattler is auditioning for, hey, don't draft somebody. Don't bring back Derek Carr. I'm the future of this franchise. And that's kind of the first thing that the Saints have to do. Well, the first thing they have to do is find a head coach. But in the offseason, they do have to kind of decide like what they're going to do moving forward. Did they see enough in Spencer Rattler to be comfortable with him moving forward as the starting quarterback? Now, I won't say franchise quarterback or any of that, but in a way, I would say yes. Like, if it financially makes sense to move off of Derek Carr, I think you've seen enough from Rattler to be comfortable with him being the starting quarterback and investing in him and seeing if you have something. And, there is a lot of benefit for a team to operate with a quarterback under a rookie contract, especially a fifth-round rookie contract. So there may also be some financial incentives along with that decision. But it depends on the head coach. It depends on what that talk looks like. And we really can't get too deep into that until we know who the head coach is. But I thought Rattler showed a lot. I thought he was really, really good. Who was not really, really good is Jamal Williams. This is the most Jamal Williams game I have ever seen. 8 carries, 15 yards, 1.9 yards a carry. I don't understand what else we have to see or what you have to see during the game. Why is he getting 8 carries? And yes, I'm a little salty because I had Jamal Williams under 7.5 carries, and he just so happens lands at 8 while doing absolutely nothing. Not surprised. Why is he getting these carries? These are 8 wasted plays. Let's take a look in the second half. What I would say is the first half, the Saints were being creative. They were throwing the ball all over the place. Spencer Rattler's RPO game looked good. They were getting a ton of people involved. At one point, he had like 9 different completions to 9 different players. Like, the ball was going all over the place. Second half, what happens is the Saints are asked to play with the lead. They get conservative. They start running the football. They're unsuccessful running the football, a la Jamal Williams running the ball for 1.7 yards a carry or whatever it was, and they punt a lot. I mean, this is probably it for Jamal Williams, I would guess. I mean, it's not probably. This is it for Jamal Williams, but man, like, just a brutal time in New Orleans. Just really bad stuff. I don't understand why he got so many carries. Don't get it. I mean, 1.9 yards a carry, 2.7 yards a carry, 1.7 yards a carry, 2 yards a carry. I mean, the 6 yards a carry was on 2 carries, and one of them was a 8-yard carry. So the other one was 4 yards. So, I mean, it's just, I said it all last year. I feel like they're wasted plays, and I feel like there were wasted plays in this game too. But, I mean, Rattler got a lot of people involved here. Juwan, ton of targets, ton of catches. He looked pretty good, especially with being limited this week with a knee injury. MVS, looked all right. Foster looked good. Glad to see him get more involved there. 4 catches. But I thought CEH would get involved more in the passing game. Unfortunately, those went to Jordan Mims. I also had CEH over 2.5 catches, but Mims got 3, and that's what, sometimes you're right church, wrong pew, and in that situation, we were right church, wrong pew. So, but I mean, not a bad performance from the Saints. They fell apart in the second half. Tampa kind of put the foot. I mean, you get a much better team in desperation mode. This can happen. If we look at the box score, first downs were even, total plays even, yards. Tampa had more yards. Tampa dominated yards per play, 6.2 yards per play, 4.6 yards per play. This right here, the 6.2 yards per play, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it's kind of sad because a majority of that, I think, is going to be Baker Mayfield on the ground. There was a lot of plays, including like a 3rd and 14 that he converted on the ground, and it's just something that plagues the Saints. And, it's kind of a tough situation because if you're the Saints, you are so focused on stopping Mike Evans, so focused on him, so focused on Bucky Irving and whoever else they have out there, that you kind of forget about Baker. And it seems to happen every time we play the Bucs, and it's just a matchup problem that the Saints have. But if I had to guess, that's where the big discrepancy in yards per play is. Passing, 216 to 228. Shout out 228. Shout out Biloxi. Shout out the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Rushing, again, this is not surprising, but the Saints with 64 rushing yards, 3.4 yards a carry. Thank you, Jamal Williams. Meanwhile, the Bucs had 5.8 yards a carry. Kind of a crazy situation where, again, 179 yards rushing, but a lot of this is Baker Mayfield. But the Bucs in a situation where they really didn't need to run the football or couldn't run how they wanted to because they were trailing, but they still rack up nearly 200 yards rushing and 6 yards per carry. So possession, Saints dominated time of possession in the first half, and then second half fall apart. It's pretty wild that the Saints ended up losing time of possession by 5 full minutes. That is mostly due to the fourth quarter there, but Bucs win that too. Bucs with a turnover. Saints get an interception. I was joking around during the game. I said, if you would have told me that was the first interception the Saints had this year, I'd believe you. It's so, like, watching it happen, I was like, man, I haven't seen a Saints turnover in a hot minute. Something we definitely missed this year. And then the rushing numbers, Baker Mayfield, 9 carries for 68 yards and 7.6 yards per carry. Tough, man. Really tough stuff. Evans got his incentives. Could care less. He did what he had to do. He got his cash. Baker Mayfield, ultimate dude's dude. We knew Baker was going to do everything he could there. But, yeah, I mean, the Saints showed flashes. Typical. Like, they showed flashes at times. It just slipped through their fingers, the hourglass or whatever. They just couldn't corral the game, couldn't do enough. It's very difficult to be a team that plays with a lead on the road like that when two things are true. First thing, you don't have a good defense. Second thing, you can't run the football. And if you don't have a good defense and you can't run the football, usually it's impossible to hold on to a lead, and that's exactly what happened here. So I hate to see Kubiak kind of shell up. I hate to see all that stuff in the first half, and then all of a sudden the second half it's just 3 and out, and 3 and out, and 3 and out, and 3 and out, and so Groupie, 4 field goals. Again, good stuff from Groupie. What was he on the year? I mean, I feel like Groupie, low-key, high-key, low-key has been insane this year. Let's see. Let's see here. I don't know if this is factoring in. Let's see. On field goals this year, 23 for 27, 30 for 32 and extra points. 23 for 27 is not as good as I thought it was. He must have... Let's see. He missed, I guess, the Giants game. He missed 2 field goals in the Giants game, and then he missed 1 against the Chargers, and 1... Where's the other one? And 1 against the Rams. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I actually thought it was better, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, 85% isn't gonna get you into the Hall of Fame for sure. To put a bow on the Saints season, I mean, the big question mark now is head coach. That is the question mark. It's not going to be Darren Rizzi. He gave a valiant effort, but wasn't good enough. Once we see who the head coach is, then the next question is, okay, what does the staff look like? The head coach comes in. Is the head coach going to replace Kubiak? Is the head coach, well, Joe Woods is gone, but that's the second question. Okay, your head coach is there. What does that mean for Kubiak? If it does mean replacing Kubiak, who are you replacing Kubiak with? What does that system look like? What does that scheme look like? I would also guess when we see who the head coach is, it'll give us an idea of their vision for this franchise and how that's going to play out. And then past that, the next big question is Derek Carr versus Spencer Rattler. And there's a majority of that decision, a majority of that question, I would say is going to be financially driven. Because in one corner, you've got Derek Carr on a big fat daddy contract. On the other corner, you've got Spencer Rattler on a rookie deal. In the middle, special guest referee, you have what does it mean for you? What does the money look like? What is the incentives? What is the financial? Does it behoove you to offload Carr's contract this year or not? Like Atlanta. Atlanta is going to end up moving off of Kirk Cousins because it saves them like $8 million or whatever to do it now. So they're going to do that. I don't know the breakdown of the Carr stuff. I'm sure we'll hear about that soon, but that'll be your questions, and that is where we moved on. And that's where we move on to. We are now officially in off-season mode. We are officially in head coach, OC, staff, quarterback, draft. Just talking about the season a little bit. Always sad to see it end. Love watching the Saints. Love watching the games. Love watching the NFL. Today was the last full slate of NFL games. Last full day where you wake up, you prep for every game, you watch the red zone, go right into the afternoon games, right into Sunday Night Football. It's a beautiful thing. And after today, we go to playoffs. We go to a very small amount of football. No more Monday night, no more Thursday night. Sad times, no doubt about it. Sad times. So even though the Saints were 5-12, loved every second of watching them. I wish the game would have never ended today. I remember it was in the third quarter. The game was getting a little tight, and I was sitting there just happier than a pig in shit. I was just sitting there going like, man, we got a whole nother quarter of this. Isn't that great? So sad to see him go. Sad to see the season end. But on the other token, I'm excited for the future. I think the franchise is in a very exciting spot because you never know. We could be a year away from where the Saints were in 2005 when they were 3-13. In 2005, you're 3-13. Things look really, really bad for the franchise. Next thing you know, Sean Payton walks through the door. Next thing you know, Drew Brees walks in through the door. Next thing you know, you got 15 years of being one of the best teams in the NFL. You got a Super Bowl on the way. You got Monday Night Footballs and Sunday Night Footballs, and you're the most exciting team in the NFL. So you never know who's walking through that door. Cincinnati Bengals. They're one of the most pathetic, sad franchises in history. Another losing season. Their first overall pick. Guess what? Joe Burrow's walking through that door. All of a sudden, it's a fun franchise to be a fan of. Detroit has never won a Super Bowl. 1967, I believe, was the first year of the Super Bowl. Have never won one. Multiple winless seasons. Laughing stock in the NFL. All of a sudden, Dan Campbell walks through that door. Pretty good time to be a Lions fan. So you never know how fast fortune can turn. So for a team like the Saints, who we're guaranteed to be going into a very significant rebuild, whether we want to or not, it's just going to happen. Whether it's aging veterans like Cam Jordan and Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis and players like that who, Ryan Ramczyk, who are probably going to retire. Ryan Ramczyk absolutely will be retiring. Then you got other aging players like Taysom Hill coming off of a huge injury. Derek Carr, aging player with a big contract. So there's going to be turnover. There's going to be change. So whether the Saints want to announce a full rebuild or not or whatever, it's an organic rebuild. It is happening on top of the fact that you are guaranteed to be getting a new head coach. And more than likely, you're getting a new offensive coordinator and a new offensive staff. So the way I look at it, there is no question right now until week 1 of next season, it's going to be an insane offseason. The Saints will be making headlines. The Saints will be involved in a lot of big stories, whether it's draft related. I mean, you have a top 10 pick, whether it's head coach, whether it's head coaching interviews, whether it's offensive coordinator interviews, whether it's any of that stuff. So exciting times. We can put this behind us. I know a lot of fans are happy to put this behind us. I know a lot of fans are happy that this is over. So it's time. We're moving forward. Obviously, we're going to keep pumping out content here. Just because the games are over doesn't mean the content stops. And a lot of the time, the offseason is busier than the regular season. You know, the offseason is, like I said, news, rumors, what-if season, hypothetical season, mock drafts. What about this coach? What about that coach? What does this mean? What does that mean? So I'm excited, and I hope you tune in here every day for the content. As I wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for sticking around this channel. This has been a crazy year. I think when we started the season, we were probably right around, I don't know, I'm getting my numbers mixed up. I want to say we were right around like maybe 5,000 subscribers, maybe not even. And no, I think we were over. I think we were. I don't know, but regardless, we have exploded, and it's all because of you. We're right at the top of the New Orleans sports media market, just like we said we would be. And again, that's all because of you. I can put these videos out every day. If y'all were not watching, engaging, clicking, commenting, all that stuff, then if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to watch the video, does it get pushed? Some of that stuff. So I just want to thank you. I just want to thank all of y'all for every single day, the comments, the views, the likes, all that stuff. So we're going to keep it up. We're going to crush the off season. Can't wait. And ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below what you thought about the game, what you think about the season, and what do you think about the off season. Give me predictions, all that stuff. And I will see you in the next